do I have no sound? Set it. I do have sound. Hello, everybody. How are we all doing? My name is Starsristic, as per usual, and welcome to PSGL. It is our final race of the season. I'm pretty certain the championship already wrapped up. I have a suspicious feeling that our constructors isn't quite yet. However, we've had 16 minutes of qualifying to go. So just 1.5 minutes of it started. I'm terribly sorry that I'm a little bit late. Just having a couple of network problems. However, we are really underway nevertheless. Just dropping into YouTube because we got to make that dollar. And need to switch on monetization. Either way, final race of the season, but not many drivers, unfortunately. Only 12 of us have joined for our last race of the season, which is a shame, because it's been a good season, actually. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. You may know, you may not. This has been my first year here on PSGL. I have absolutely loved it. And I'm looking forward to going tomorrow. It's going to be good. And tomorrow I sign on. Either way, our first driver has gone onto his prime lap. We're on intermediate tyres, by the way. Don't worry, we're not going to be having any red flags like there was today. Good old being British me. I was up at 5:30 in the morning. Race didn't start until like 7:15. Live it. Which might mean I might be a little bit yawn towards the end of this. So, no. Either way, we are mic volume. What is up with my mic volume? Am I really loud? No, I'm quiet. Oh, you want me a bit louder, don't you? Yeah, that's better. That's much better. Nevertheless, we are all, pretty much everyone's on an outlap now. Bar 3, now bar 2. Everyone is getting themselves going on a nice little outlap. Nevertheless, let's see Real Porty coming around the last couple of corners of the lap. Let's see what he does. Final bit of acceleration. It's a 136.8 is our first time today. So, and Fabi Mark Steiner going and setting just a couple of tenths faster than that. 3 tenths to be precise. So, names we're missing. You may notice we have the 2 Mercedes drivers, one of which isn't someone we're quite recognising at the front, which would be Nicholas Steinman. He's not here. And neither is Mr. Tarver, which means pretty much, no chance of that championship being signed, sealed and delivered. So Tarver has quite happily won that championship. Unfortunately, I wasn't there to talk about it because I got kicked out of the thingy and it wouldn't let me back in again. Either way, most drivers have come round to finish their laps. Just a couple of drivers still going. Either way, going into this championship, we got a massive points gap for Tarver, so he is well and truly wrapped up this championship, 29 points ahead. Mega after the last couple of races, managing to pick up a few more points here and there. It was game over for him. However, he's not here today, so expect to see another name on the board. Either way, Nicholas Simon in P2, 70 points. Still very good championship run, but just not quite enough starts, to be honest. If anything, It's Belgium. It's, you know, we've got 11 races of the season, and he's DNS on 1, 2, 4, 5 of them now of 11 races. That's what's lost in the championship, because every single race he's shown up to, he's bagged big points. Round 1, round 4, round 1, round 5, 6 and 7 he's won. You know, a great little bit of work. However, when he's been doing that, his teammate, his rival, Sava, was getting P2. So can you see why that kind of went a little bit wrong? So our highest championship runner that is actually running today is Georgius, who's P3. He's on 56 points, and he's looking to have essentially a fight for P3 with VE Boeing today. VE Boeing is right at the very top. Sorry. So VE Boeing is right at the top of qualifying as of right now. Not quite as high. LRE has just come in and obliterated that time. That's come in. That's a very good time. 156.298, so just under that 3/10 mark. Rain doesn't look like it's going to be easing up over the next 10 minutes, but it might, just as Jamie proves it's still very slippy out there in these wet conditions. Only man not to set a lap so far is Georgius, who's currently still in the pit lane and not looking to make any moves as of right now. So LRE, who's our current front runner, driving for Aston Martin. Yes, correct. He has raced once with us. He DNF'd. But I'm pretty certain when he came with us, he did a very, very good job. Like, really, really good job. Oh yeah, because we had Gente Bolt as well. That was at Saudi Arabia, if you can remember that far back. Very, very good qualifiers. Let's see how they can do in the race. Here's our highest championship stander, Georgius. Currently running down. He's currently on his outlap right this very second as we speak. So nothing major, but it's still, you know what, I'm looking forward to seeing how his lap goes. But if he doesn't quite make this lap, it's not the end of the world. Still got plenty of time to get another lap in as far as he's concerned. Just running a little bit wide there, so just practicing track limits, just getting a feel for it. You know, that's the most important thing, is getting a feel for it. Because if you don't understand like how fast you can go, your outlap's your opportunity to. Your outlap is your opportunity to test the barriers, so to say, and sort of figure out whereabouts you can push. Sem equals the GOAT. Well, Sem driver is currently P4, just half a second from the leader right now. This is one of our most split qualifyings we've had in some time, actually. Like, notably sort of different gaps to leaders. It's usually not quite this sort of spaced out. That's probably due to the rain. I can't see that really being any other factor other than Silverstone. It can be a bit of a iffy circuit for some drivers. Some drivers really don't like Silverstone. I don't mind it. I've been here. I went here in August, actually, to go and watch. You're going to hate me for this. I went to watch MotoGP. Ooh, I know, scary stuff. What am I on about? No, it was a very good race. Well, it was very good, lots of racing, actually, because they have, similar to F1, they've got Moto2, Moto3, and then British supercars, superbikes. It's very good, actually. But in particular, this circuit, it's so flat. It's ridiculous. You don't walk up any hills. You do, but they're very, very minor. And little sections like this, just look how flat it is. There's very, very little elevation change as Georgius spins there on the final corner. Not to worry, still 6 3/4 minutes to go. So I think he's just going to be just fine. Sorry if I'm mucking up my words really badly today. It's because I'm tired. Really should have had some caffeine before this, but you know what? We'll survive. The Sem driver, wow. Wow. Sem driver has just gone. That's what? That's 6/10. It's about, yeah, just over 6/10 faster than his time before. That's a very, very strong lap from him. And Adagashi as well is showing. Oh, Alfa Romeo have something to say here today. This would at least give us reasoning to say so. You know, I mean, Alfa Romeo currently sat P7 in the championship on 48 points. If they bag good positions, as Real Paudy's just gone higher still, but nice to see top 3 now separated by a 10th, looking a bit more PSGL-y. PSGL-y. If Alfa Romeo can put on a show here today, right, obviously they're going to be battling McLaren for P6, right, and to be honest, AlphaTauri as well. I mean, AlphaTauri on 54 points, McLaren are on 50, Alfa Romeo's on 48. So all very, very close in the middle there. And then you've got Ferrari in P8 on 18 points. So it really drops off after there. And then Aston Martin just below on 15 points. Aston Martin got 2 drivers today. LRE obviously very high up. So Aston Martin have got a good opportunity here to take P8 and just sort of move one step away from the back of the grid. Williams have pretty much secured last this season. They're on 7 points. Doesn't mean it's a technical last, but we got a good shout of it being last, right? So Georgius goes and sets a lap. It was 7/10 slower than our fastest lap so far, meaning, as it stands on qualifying, Boeing will take P3 in the championship in this last race. Either way, constructors is also wrapped up. Georgius hasn't got a lot to worry about constructors wise, as Red Bull are on 155 points and Mercedes are on 85. So a considerable gap there. However, the battle for third, once again, the battle for third is big, right? Like big. However, I'd say it's big. Oh no, we do have an Alpine driver, because it's Alpine versus Haas. So it's 2 drivers dictating who takes home P3. Alpine currently lie 4 points ahead in the championship. So essentially, all the Evil 7 Chris needs to do is pretty much finish in the points. Because of how our point system works, you're pretty much guaranteed a happy ending, right? You're guaranteed a happy ending. If you're finishing in the points, it's going to be difficult to break. Like, really, really difficult it's going to be to break. So I can't particularly see, you know, if Evil 7 Chris gets in the points, Fabi Mark Steiner's going to have to, you know, go get close to winning the race. I say that, he has just got and set the fastest sector 1 time. So be warned. I could be incredibly wrong here, because this man looks like he's on a bit of a madness. Either way, let's quickly remind you of our points system, which will be somewhere. General information. Yes, here it is. I do need reminding every now and then, because it's not the normal set, right? So normally it's what, 25 points for a win, 18 for second, and then what, 12 for third, right? Bit different. 16 points for first, 12 points for second, Third is 10, fourth is 8, fifth is 6, sixth is 5th. So that's an easy way to mark it round. Fabio Mark Steiner, I'm sorry. I knew he went pole, but my God, what a lap. For 10th, Fabio Mark Steiner is on it today. My goodness. The Haas has come in and he's like, nah, I'm winning it. And he's gone and done that. Jesus. He's just walked in, blitzed it, and walked out again. Right, so as it stands, this is in qualifying as well. Don't get me wrong. Like we got a minute of qualifying to go. So as of right now, anything's anything. Real Porty. He said he was 7/10 up. He hadn't even hit the first braking zone yet, so I'm not really going to believe that. And Sem Driver as well, just behind. So keep that in mind. We'll watch Real Porty. We'll watch Sem Driver. Real Porty invalidated. He's not going to make it round, is he? No, he's not. Either way, Sem Driver currently doing absolute no. Once again, only hit the first braking zone. Don't really trust it. Let's see how Boeing's getting along. He's going to be sort of one of the first people we get to, giving it a bit of a shake down the back of that little straight there. It's only a small little straight, but nevertheless. So Boeing comes across the line. Is it improvements? It is improvements, but it's not by an awful lot. It's only P6 for Boeing. Sem Driver is down on his time, so he needs to hurry up right now, like desperately. And LRE has come in and gone another 10th faster. What's a lap from LRE? He's got Sander Jane coming up now, and that is Fabio Mark Steiner also going to be coming across the line now. Sander Jane, I don't think improved, as that is Fabio Mark Steiner who has finished qualifying, so he's just running a little bit slower. Real Porty down on his time, invalidated. That's pretty much his lap over. Sem Driver is up on his time. As it stands, he'll go into P3. He's going to have to up it just a little bit more out of Club and Vale. Is he going to be able to push for second? Is he going to be able to get pole position? It's P2. And he has managed it, and he's managed it by quite a fair bit. And Georgius has retired from the session, but that's just because he's going into the pit lane. Jamie is coming round to finish this lap here, but it is invalidated. Final drivers include Sander Jane, who's still on an lap, and Caden, who is just about to finish his. So let's see how he can improve. Can he get himself up into the top 10? Can he get himself into a better position? Let's take a look. He was up on his time, and he does make the top 10, but only narrowly. He's managed to get a 10th. But that could be knocked out very soon, because Sander Jane has got just 2 more braking zones to go, and with the fastest sector 2 time, he could be on for something rather menacing here. We could be seeing quite a good lap, in fact. Sander Jane coming around and down into Club Corner. I can half remember the names. Like, I can remember some of them, obviously. Sander Jane is going to come across the line. He's the last man to qualify. He goes P5 with an absolutely outrageous lap there. Sander Jane gaining 6 positions on that final lap to put the Ferrari into a position of giving himself a half-decent shot at picking up some points. However, it was LRE who managed to outdrive them all today in the Aston Martin with a 1:35.652. So a really good lap from him. Sem Driver in P2 for Alfa Romeo as they fight for their Constructors' Championship bout. And Fabio Mark Steiner, who they're fighting against. No, it's not. I'm completely wrong there. But Fabio Mark Steiner in the Haas, completely outdoing the Alpine. Evil 7 Chris coming in last. Either way, it's Boeing, Sander Jane, Real Porty, Georgius, Adagashi, Jamie, Izuni, that's terribly wrong, Caden, and Evil 7 Chris to round out the 12 drivers we have today. Nice little GG in the chat from Fabi. That is lovely to see. Love that from you. Let's take a quick look at the driver standings once again and see how we got some battles going on in here. Obviously going to have to check up on who's and where. So Evil 7 Chris and Sander Jane have got a lovely little fight here. Only a point between them. Ferrari currently ahead by a point 30 to 29. Other than that, Fabio Mark Steiner in the Haas is down on 22 points. Picking up points today, we'll get him past Ethan Leticia, who's not here today. So just do that what you will. Jamie as well on 13 points. He's pretty much away from anybody else. He hasn't got too much to worry about. Other than that, Real Porty, big gap. Ethan Dalton isn't here. Adigashi can get himself up to sort of about P6 in the championship, I'm pretty sure. Adigashi currently P8. Can get himself up to happily P6 if he gets some decent points under his belt today. Only problem is there's 35 drivers and you don't know which ones are racing here. But we do know, after a very long wait, we are away. It really took its time and the Alfa Romeo gets off to a good start. But the Haas gets off to a better. So round turn 1 we go. It's not too much carnage actually. Everybody stayed in one piece as we now hit our first braking zone of the day. The Haas leading the Aston Martin, running very wide there. And the Alfa Romeo SM driver just having to block off Boeing, who's had an absolute blinder of a start and gets that position nice and quickly as well. So Boeing going for big points today. Currently P2 in the race with SM driver directly behind. So great start from Fabio Mark Steiner there. Absolutely blitzed it off the line. Reaction times, unbelievable start from him. Really impressive. Now as we run, and oh, there goes the Red Bull just spinning behind. You can see there the Williams and what's that? That's F11 Chris just behind. Yeah, I wouldn't. Recent history says you don't make passes there, but then again, I said that. You know, you say that for Spa. Never go up Eau Rouge. What do? They always go up Eau Rouge, don't they? They go for it. Whenever they see a move, they go for it. And that's what I absolutely love about this racing. Well, the Aston Martin's going to have a little look. He's not going to have a bit more of a look. He's going to have a whole chunk. He's taken that, got the better exit, cut off Sem driver. Great little move there. No penalty. Obviously not made contact with the other driver whatsoever. It's just great positioning of the car. So that gets LRE up into P3, up into that nice podium position that he'll also desire after having nothing short of an absolute horror start, in all honesty. Nevertheless, Fabio Mark Steiner needs to settle in quickly, and I'm pretty sure he is right now, just maintaining that gap of about a second, give or take. It's sort of between 9/10 to 1.1, so it's a bit up and down. As you can see there, just breaking the 8/10 for a slight moment there. Yeah, Fabio Mark Steiner, the go. It was an incredible start. Very impressive nonetheless. LRE right on the back of Boeing right now. I want to know how early is it that he's going to go for this pass, because LRE is showing great pace around here at Silverstone. Now, especially when it's dry on the medium tyres compared to those hards, just so much extra grip around that corner. It's an easy move there. Barely any efforts had to be put in there, and I don't think Bowen particularly contested it. He knew that that wasn't his race to win and that he should come back a little bit later. You know, when he's on the fresher or the faster set of compound per se, they're all as fresh as each other. Speaking of freshness, different strategies. There's no soft strategies, unsurprisingly. If you don't know, Silverstone has one of the longest. Oh, that's happened to Jamie there. He's fallen to the back of the pack. Oh, he's just spun it round, I'm pretty certain. Either way, Silverstone. Let me talk track facts for you. Silverstone's got one hell of a long pit lane. So you don't want to do too many stops. You want to keep stops at a minimum because they take a long time. That's why there's loads of medium and hard runners. There's no point in going on softs because you're sat in that pit lane for like 25 seconds. You know, probably even getting on to 30 if once you actually consider the stop time in it as well. Because you've got to remember where you hit that pit limiter. It's a long way round. I mean, you can see it on the mini-map there, just how long that little white line is. That is your pit lane. And it's long. So, you know, you make as minimal stops as possible. It's a hard to medium or a medium to hard strategy, depending on when you want to be pushing. So someone like Fabio Mark Steiner, I'm surprised didn't go on the set of mediums to try and get an absolute blinder of a start. Obviously, he didn't need them. He got the blinder of the start anyway. And what he's done here, okay, even if LRE overtakes him within the next couple of laps, which is seeming increasingly likely as that gap is deteriorating, now down to just 0.3 of a second. It was 1 second not a lap ago. What he's done is he's just slowed those medium tyres down for 3 laps. And you know what, as far as you're concerned, that's the 3 fastest laps, those mediums, that he's not been able to capitalise with. That could easily set you up to win the race. You know, if everything goes your way, if pit stops go right, nothing goes wrong, just holding him up for the next couple of corners. Even so, create an extra little bit of time. You're on the hard tyres. You're not actually going slower. You're keeping to what pace you should be on, but he's not. So, obviously then once you're on the mediums, you're going to be able to make that time back. Which is then, you know, strategies and defending and what battles you pick to choose to pick and which ones you don't. That all comes pretty much under that. Nevertheless, these two drivers now the closest they have been the entire time, running through the Maggots and Becketts and, well, Chapel, which is that one just there, that complex. LRE should be with DRS here, getting this move done. He's going to switch to the inside. It was a bit of a defence by the Haas, but it wasn't a big defence. He's going to try and keep it round the outside, but I can't see him getting very much exit speed, but he has. I'm completely wrong. He's going to have the inside line for this first bit of the chicane, but he's going to have the outside for the second. So what is he going to be able to do here? Can he hook it round and get a little bit of extra pace? I think that's exactly what's happened here, though. He did run a little bit wide, so I think he's going to have to concede that position. No, he's not. He's going to try and keep on him. Just losing out a little bit on that straight line speed there. Whenabouts is this Haas going to be able to make this move back? Last thing he wants to do is let LRE in front of him for too long, because if that happens, LRE is going to pull away. He needs to then be slowing down LRE now. In all honesty, he wants to be hitting the end of this DRS straight and dive bombing. He's not going to be able to, though. He was too far back, and he's going to have to just hope for the pace of the hard tyres is going to just shine out of nowhere. Nevertheless, we're coming down the old pit straight now, just firing it through Woodcote, and that gap now 0.6 of a second. It's just growing ever so large, and Cops, it just goes another 10th larger, and I cannot see it closing down any time soon. LRE with just a phenomenal amount of pace, and it's really showing. Looking towards the back of the grid though, chaos is erupting as Georgius is having one of his worst races by far at the moment. Currently sat P12 and not running well. Nevertheless though, all drivers still remain after 5 laps, which is things we absolutely love to see. We love good racing, and that is what PSGL gives. Yeah, I was right. And oh, I say that as contact's made between Gaydon and Adagashi. Adagashi now falls down to currently 10th place. Whether that becomes 11th or not, I'm not too sure. Nope, we'll hold 10th place just there. Looking slightly further up the pack now, Fabio Marksiner only just keeping within DRS range for this lap. Whether he's going to be able to hold it for the next lap, I'm not too sure, though. He is holding pace with him right now. Like, you know, a lap ago we were at 0.7 of a second, it's now 0.9. So, and then as soon as you lose that DRS, it's just going to come an increasing gap. It's just going to get worse, you know. Either way, gaps towards the back of the grid have opened a little bit, so front of the grid is where it's all at. Well, I say where it's all at. This is the closest timings we've got, so let's watch it. Just closing up on the straight there, you can see how I'm pretty certain this is now a full-on DRS train. like without a shadow of a doubt. You can see everyone's closing in at the same time, everyone's pushing away at the same time. It is a classic case of DRS train. Although, what on earth just happened there? Boeing has spun it round, which pulls him down to 5th. He's now going to lose a position to Real Pordy probably as well. Although that's going to have to be done in the braking zone there. Is Real Pordy going to be able to capitalise on Boeing's mistake the same way as Evil Chris was able to, being just a few laps earlier? And oh, they do collide. And Boeing comes out worse once. Boeing going 2 spins in a matter of mile. Either way, Jamie is out. That has been caused down at Club Corner. So I'm not quite sure. In fact, actually, no, it's Vale, isn't it? As LRE is having to desperately try and regain some delta time. Anyway, going once again. I'm not quite sure whether we're under VSC or whether we're under full safety car, actually. In all honesty. Oh no, we're under full safety car conditions. Tactics, strategies, what can I see happening? Not a lot. To be honest, it's difficult to judge. I think medium runners can go on hards and they'll go to the end of the race, just. But other than that, so yes, LRE does come in, but the hard runners do not. Sem Driver does though, and so does Evil 7 Chris, so does Real Poorly. So I lie, pretty much everyone's coming in. Sandra Jane just deciding right at the very last second. So just 3 drivers elect to not come into the pit lane. Alrighty, so interesting tyre choice there from Sandra Jane, who has elected to go on to the softs. Interesting. Right, okay, I'm interested to see what Sandra Jane has tried to go for here, because I'm guessing he's expecting another safety car. Right. Nevertheless though, people that have pitted as well have essentially switched tyres. In all honesty, safety car's not coming in this lap, is it? I am going to wait just to be sure. Because the last thing I want is it all going a little bit wrong. Right, he is going around for another lap so we can check out the race director. That's the only thing I wanted to look at. Where is this what race director looks like nowadays? Oh no, I pressed the wrong button. I was about to say, that looks so wrong. So yeah, they're the 3 guys. They haven't stopped yet. It's a medium to hard. It's hard to medium, medium to hard, hard, medium, medium, hard. Hard is softs, which is the only kind of like exclusion, and then hard, medium, and hard. Jamie is the man that has caused this safety car. So yeah, pretty much, other than Sandra Jane, it is just the repetition, the sort of opposite of what I've already been on, what you've already been on per se. I mean, yeah, looking at this so far, Fabian Mark Steiner doing quite well from P3 on the grid. are the big improvements. Evil 7 Chris up 5 and Caden up 6. So, good work from those guys. I could have told you that here, couldn't I? And I was right. Good. So, currently behind the safety car, who's in good positions and whereabouts are they? So, LRE, good position. He's going to be going to the end of the race now on these tyres, which is another... God, I am so tired. I'm so sorry as well. Well, we got 10, 16, 17 laps of racing to go. Tyres should be lasting that long, although this is Silverstone. Difficult to keep wear. Difficult to keep your wear down. And, you know, because you've got a lot of high-speed corners pretty much everywhere, you know. You've got Abbey, you've got Woodcote, you've got Cox, Maggotts, Beckett, Jackal, Stowe. Club isn't even that slow, and it's really, really tough on the back. Because the back end just wants to go, no Club. And, I mean, that really struggles with your tyre wear. All of these big corners that you've got to work with. Either way, we are going... Are we going quite yet? I'm not quite sure. As Fabian Mark Steiner pulled away, he has. He's gone for it. And it is pretty decent start for Fabian Mark Steiner. 0.6 of a second. Straight off the bat. But Boeing is going to be catching quite rapidly, actually. Already dropped to second, though Georgius has blown it away. And has already lost quite a bit of a gap to Boeing there. Nearly a second already. So, what will Fabian Mark Steiner be hoping for? Fabian Mark Steiner will be hoping for Georgius and Boeing to slow down LRE. What will Boeing and Georgius be wanting to do? Keep the pace on the older tyres. And what on earth was happening there as the Alfa Romeo went extremely wide, and we just see Sander Jane on those soft tyres absolutely raking up the grip. Absolutely mental amount of grip on those soft tyres. As down comes these two once again side by side, though Alfa Romeo not quite having the pace he needs. As of right now, still drivers very, very close together, unsurprisingly, just off the back of a safety car. However, not many perfect opportunities to get a move done, and you've got to be very close to one another. As you can see there, the Alfa Romeo once again just ever so not quite close enough every single time, and yet he is so close, and that is Evil 7. So that is, I guess, redeemable. Nevertheless, though, Sem Driver and Sander Jane now all in a lovely little tandem. Very close to Caden, who is under a lot of pressure right now. As, by the looks of it, a DRS train without DRS is beginning to form, though Sander Jane wants past, and wants past now. He wants to absolutely maximise these soft tyres that he's put on. And I think he's going to try and go for a move any moment now. Though the Alfa Romeo is dropping everyone on the straight line. He's right on the back of that Mercedes after the national pit straight. Though Sander Jane, you can probably tell through some of these corners, should be having much better grip than anybody else. So there you go, lovely little camera angle there. The other Alfa Romeo diving it up the inside there. And Agashi gets himself up into 8th place, things we love to see. LRE is still stuck behind Georgius right now, 0.6 away, so he's not been able to redeem at any places as of right now. DRS though now enabled. Who's going to be able to make the most of it? Well, I say LRE's not going that quickly. Well, he is. He's just gone and set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. just not got much to show for it as of right now. Either way, this group at the back still fighting so very close to one another as Sander Jane practically touches the back of the Alfa Romeo's gearbox as he does launch a one down the inside there. Is he going to have the better exit grip? No, they basically go side by side there. Though the Ferrari does have the inside line, which is going to be what's going to give him the edge. But it's going to be the other Alfa Romeo. It's going to be Adagashi that goes for it now. He's going to try and launch one. Sem Driver loses down. It drops to 8th place as Adagashi only gains the 1 position. Doesn't quite make it past the Ferrari. That Ferrari is on fire at the moment. However, giving Caden a massive advantage here. He's been able to pull away because of this. And Evil 7 Chris not doing all that well, though. You can just see through, my God, through cops. What an improvement of speed there by Sander Jane as Caden unfortunately leaves the session. Possible disconnect. And that demotes him a lot of positions. He's going to fall down to 9th place after currently sitting P5. Either way, Adagashi's wants the P5 and he does take it. So we've had some chaotic battling as of right now. And I've completely missed it, but up at the front, Georgius has managed to get himself past VE Boeing as Adagashi goes and sets the fastest time. Unsurprisingly, what a run down both straights. He's managed to make big moves down both straights, which he'll be absolutely over the moon with. LRE now right on the back of Boeing. It's possible that these hard tyres they are getting a little bit aged now, aren't they? Just how long are they going to go? But my worries are these 3 boys up at the top. Once they fall down to the back of the grid, it's game over. Sorry, it's completely and utterly game over for them. Because they're going to fall to like 8th, 9th place. And, you know, after that, that's pretty much it. It's done and dusted at that point. So, as of right now, Boeing under a lot of pressure by LRE, who is going to try a move here, probably. He's under the slipstream. Both got DRS, so no advantage there, but a massive advantage of grip. He does launch it quite deep, though, which does allow Boeing to get a slightly better exit, but it's not going to be good enough to be able to get himself up to the inside of him there at Vale. So, it is LRE up into P3 as it stands, with Georgius and Fabi Marksteiner ahead. Adagashi once again setting another fastest lap. This man is on fire at the moment. You can just see his pace above everybody else as he comes flying down into our first braking zone of the day. That is a farm corner. It's not the first one of the day, it's the first one of the lap. Sorry, I should point that out. We have had more than that amount of laps. Caden Herbers is having to come into the pits. Is it repairs? Oh no, he's a ghost, isn't he? So that's just ghost doing ghost tendencies. God knows what he was actually doing, whether it was... Who knows? Who knows? Either way, Georgius still... Sorry about that. Georgius catching ever so quickly to Fabi Marksteiner. In fact, 3.5 tenths, 2.5 tenths with DRS. Is it going to be a move up into Stowe? He's going to drop to the inside. Adagashi with not Adagashi, Georgius. No, no, no. You've crashed. No! God's sake. This is what I have to deal with, right? Can you hear that horrible hum? As it has frozen for you guys as well, right? F1 completely frozen. I'm going to restart the stream and restart my game. I will join you back in approximately a minute's time. At least we saw the move, though. It's a good move.